Yo guys, the closed network test is over, but we can pretend it's not by watching some gameplay. So, starting off with Turn A Gundam, make sure you're throwing some damage into the spawn door right as people spawn. They're always going to walk out just willy-nilly, so make sure you're getting some damage in. It's good to get your ult started off early. So, my team here is playing very aggressively, holding very aggressively. It's an option depending on what kind of characters you get and depending on how aggressive you want to be. It's always good to experiment and play aggressively just to see how far you can push the limits. But you don't want to feed too hard, as we just did. This game has a lot of random trading in it. That's a little bit to be expected. A lot of the time you'll have one of your teammates die and one of their teammates die, and just constantly regrouping as your teammates are just trickling back in due to the speed of things. It's a little bit due to sloppiness of people not understanding the game yet, but a lot of it's just due to the way the game is designed. So here, I see the Barbatos. Don't want to be close to him. Very scary, as we all know. You have to be really cautious of it. You have to be listening for it. Obviously, I have the audio muted, but you can hear normally in game. So I choose to go for an aggressive grab here. I don't like this because I lose my good positioning on the right side of the map where I'm creating an off angle, and I, in addition, miss my cooldown and risk dying during that. It's okay, like I said, to limit test. During this network test, I was definitely doing a lot of limit testing, trying to see how far you can push the characters, but you don't want to int in situations where you need to be winning. So just be cautious about that. Giving up good positioning for a play. As you can see here, we have a good little setup on the choke. I just need to be aware of something coming from above me. I'm not sure what's going to happen in this clip. I make a mistake here again with the overhead throw. I'm trying to play aggressively with it. However, something that you can do is dash immediately out of it. As you can see here, go for the grab, miss it, dash immediately. So I didn't really spend that much time injured there. And since I'm not any close to any HP, I'm going to immediately hit my nanoskin. That right there would have been a pretty okay engagement. It's just, you have to be aware, just with the way that this game works and having fewer HP than a Sazabi. If you go to trade for a Sazabi, well, yes, I would trade myself as a Turn A Gundam for a Sazabi every single game, every single fight. From like a theory crafting perspective, you have to be cautious of missing and them not dying, you dying just because of the fact that they're way tankier than you are. Just because you hit your cooldown doesn't mean you're going to get the kill. However, there were two effective uses of my grab ability. That's more of what I'm looking for. I did play a lot of Sazabi since I am a main tank player, and Sazabi is the one main tank in the game. Arguably Marase is too, but not really. It's a little bit too weak to be considered that. And that was a good grab play there. Like I said, it works sometimes. It's just not something you want to be forcing all the time. I was having a little bit of fun with it though, just to see how high I could push it. So I'm pretty low HP here. And in situations where you're low HP and you're in the back line, you have the option to just run to the point, stall it, force the enemy, and you also have the option to flank. In this game, everything's very quickly, everything moves very quickly, and you can take a lot of advantage of flanking. So it's definitely an option. Quick note here, I thought it was faster to charge up my shot and shoot it after you grab it. It's actually not. Just pop them in the head with regular shots in the head. If you have 4 shots, which is how many you can shoot, you do more damage that way. Not substantially, but enough to get the kill when charging the shot you usually won't. But as I was mentioning, the way that Sazabi works is it has a very limited range, and as much as it's supposed to main tank, avoid those mines, they track you really aggressively. As much as you're supposed to tank up close and hold positions, it doesn't do well against damage against characters that always want to play close. So you're going to have issues against characters like Turn A Gundam that can just grab you as you get really close to them. That was a good ultimate. Good grab. Just finishing off kills. You have to make sure you're tracking when you're grabbing. You don't want to be just trying to grab. You can move the grab the whole time, so make sure you're using the grab with it. Make sure you're tracking them like it's like you're playing Pale Rider essentially. But When playing against close range characters on Sazabi, you're going to suffer. So even as something as Turn A Gundam, which really shouldn't be able to 1v1 a Sazabi, and it can't overall, if they get in that close range to you, dash onto them, grab them. They only have one movement ability, so they can't actually get away from you. It's currently kind of a weakness of the way the game designed. It's not so bad in a character like Turn A Gundam, but on a character like Barbatos, it's miserable, where just the way that the game is designed, they can actually just force a fight win against you just by the fact that they can dash multiple times and force you to use your movement cooldown. Like I said, it's worse on Barbatos, where they have the summon ability and they can then hold it or dash through you and hit the slam in a way that no matter where you're dashing, you're still getting hit by it. But Turn A Gundam can do a lot of that kind of stuff. You just have to be cautious about getting hit with a shotgun blast in the face, because as I mentioned, you're not quite as powerful as Turn A Gundam as Barbatos is. So something I was going to mention here is, in these situations, you can't properly disarm it unless you killed everybody. You have to kill everybody. It's a design flaw of the game right now. It's fun when you're attacking, but it's a design flaw where if you haven't killed everybody and you're not highly coordinated and you're not going to like put your Sazabi to shield your other player as they defuse, you literally can't defuse. You have to kill everybody. So that's our failure here. But we don't kill the gun tank, and we have people trying to defuse it instead of getting the kill. You have to push it down to the wire in a lot of situations like this. So just be aware of that. Don't get angsty. I've seen a lot of people getting really, really antsy, and they just go for the defuse early and they don't get any value out of it. Here, I was actually looking to do what I was talking about, where I was going to go for a flank. If I can get behind their backline, I can split enough attention and be annoying enough, considering my character is quite self-sufficient. Most characters are in this game, because they have all the mobility they have and a lot of abilities. But you don't always want to do it situational. It's good to experiment, like I was saying. But that's what I was trying to do. We're probably going to see another instance of this whole have to defuse everything, especially on a map like this where you can shoot from the high ground. We're getting the res off right now, or the defuse, sorry, but it's difficult. It's questionable. If the enemy's playing on their toes, then it's just not going to consistently work. And the thing about overhead throw is, even though you can dash out of it, you're committed. So make sure you're going to hit it when you use it, or still be in a safe position. It's good to use around corners, but not like you just have to be careful with it. As you can see here, I'm taking an off angle. I'm not being contested. I have a huge little off angle onto the point. My aim's not perfect, but it is difficult also to aim with projectiles sometimes. In this situation though, like I'm saying, if we don't kill everybody, something's going to sneak up and going to stun our person defusing, or their Barbatos is going to come slam us. There's so many situations. And since to win on objective A, the enemy will usually be coming from all the way on the opposite side from where they spawn from the waypoint. You have to stuff that choke where I'm looking at. You honestly need a Sazabi player and honestly support from the rest of his team, including ideally a Barbatos, stuffing that choke, or they will just sit there and they will just shoot there because it is a straight open space. Something needs to be changed the way about defusing works. It's a bit too easy. And as I was mentioning before when I was talking in the Discord, two competitive teams, like two super high tier teams, will make it impossible to stop a defuse once they've hit it. Just because you don't have to commit many resources, they don't have to have many resources available to stop the enemy from defusing. Because you can just have your team spread out, and judging by the fact that people respond so quickly and I totally lost my train of thought. The fact that they respawn so quickly and they can't possibly chase down so many fast characters in a minute, you can literally just wait around and stop them from defusing. They need to put a sort of shield on it, or when you're defusing, or they need to just change the system so far. But as is now, you have to kill everybody. It's exploitable. Don't get me wrong, the game's really, really fun, and I am very happy with what they've given us. It needs changes, but I'm very pleasantly surprised on top of what I was already hoping for. But that is one of the issues with the game right now. Make sure when you're going for aggressive plays, when you're doing things, you're just not extending. I'm getting sloppy with my positioning. I get hit with an EMP grenade there. Sorry, I guess it was an EMP and a fire. But I'm just turning my back here to the enemy. And so I'm dashing forward like right here. I'm in an exposed position and I can get killed. You just have to be really cautious with your positioning. Really, I should be playing further back towards the point where I can apply pressure without them getting close, because we don't have a tank to stop them from getting close. And also, currently the way the tanks are designed in this game versus the fact that they can get stunned through their shields is that they can't really properly protect you anyway. So you do need to pay a little bit more careful, especially if you're a character like this that has no fall off with this primary weapon. So be aware of that. On this point in particular of Quarry here, you have to be cognizant of the fact that A is the better planting point, especially if they have a GM sniper. It is very, very, very hard to stop A from once you have planted it, once the enemy has planted it. It requires you traveling large distances to find the enemy and hunt them down, essentially, because there's always gonna be like a GM sniper all the way in the back of the map or some sort of hit scans, and there's multiple flank angles, and it's very, very, very exposed. I do it in this portion soon. Not sure if it's quite yet, but you will see me defuse and assist to defuse by using my own body. It's ideal if you have a character like a Sazabi or a GM helping with that, but you can do it on any character because it's worth trading your life to defuse, because diffuses are so powerful. Lots of minis are feeding. The network tests are recognized. And honestly, you just don't want to walk through chokes. This choke right here, it's scary. It's questionable to go through it sometimes on a character like Barbatos or Sazabi, where you can play more aggressively and stun something. But even though I have 1100 HP on Turn A Gundam, I'm not that strong. You just don't want to go in there. Hopefully I don't. Or I let it be cleared first. Like, as you can see, if they're playing there, I'm going to get trashed. Like, yes, pathing through the left is better in general, but what you're going to want is something like me playing out main on the angle here, spamming down the side while I have our Sazabi pushing through this choke here, providing a good off angle and giving my team backup to push through it. And as much as my character is a powerful sniper, although I wouldn't say the most powerful character in the game for sure, it's not GM Sniper. And the hitboxes are very easy to hit in this game because there's not instantaneous motion and all the headboxes are very large. So you really, really have to respect GM Sniper in this game. I had some GM Sniper gameplay and I was feeling like I was crazy cracked out. I was like, oh, the Kovacs has been working. But it's because of the way the hitboxes are. They're very big. So you can't, I honestly don't, even ego contesting a GM Sniper as any character that's not GM Sniper is very questionable. You have to be very aware. I also always recommend pushing A in these circumstances. A is stronger. If getting a plant off is better than getting a plant off in the most desirable place, but if you can plant A over B, definitely do it, because the same reason I mentioned, it's super open, it's super valuable for you to do. So just be thinking about that. Focus on A on this map for the first point. Make sure to check out my Turn A Gundam guide for more information like this, but much, much better. I talk about abilities, I talk about how to play the character, what the strengths and weaknesses are. Check that out, and subscribe to the channel if you guys like what you're listening to. Thanks, guys.